Welcome, everyone, to our weekly Boldly Going Nowhere Dharma Talk. We're here again on my patio in the Southwest Pacific area of Costa Rica, which is having the side and backlash of quite a major hurricane. So it's a rainy day, but it is a very good day for us because this session marks the beginning of our sixth season of doing the Dharma Talks. Yay for us! Yay. And it's been an interesting year. It's been very unusual because of so many changes. But we're delighted that we've made it this far and we intend to keep going. And the Buddhist, he just keeps right on going. 2,600 years and he's fresh as a daisy. So now, for our opening meditation, Mark Daniels is going to give us the first opening. Here we go. Now we got to help me with this. Hey, Mark.
Hello. So for today, Jeff is going to be doing a talk, and he suggested a meditation. And after reading the meditation a few times, which I have here with me, after reading it a few times, I was impressed that it covered a few of my morning practices already. And so I'm very excited to share this one with you. And of course, it blends with what Jeff has planned for us today. And so I'm going to ask you now just to come into your personal center. And do you know what that is? You know what it looks like and you know what it feels like. And in that personal center, you're going to find that your breath is going to be obvious. And that's going to be your focal point. And then anything that I'm sharing from this particular meditation, I'm going to ask you just to, I'm going to request of you, invite you to just consider the words without thinking. Just let them mill about inside, let your body sort of process them and let your mind sort of vaguely pick up on it. So it starts by saying, let yourself sit quietly and at ease. Allow your body to be relaxed and open, your breath natural, and your heart easy. You can reflect upon how this past year you have looked after yourself and that you've been cared for. And in so doing, you can now acknowledge all that has supported you in this care. Perhaps you'd say something like, with gratitude, I remember the animals, plants, insects, creatures of the sky and sea, air and water, fire and earth, and all whose joyful exertion blesses my life every day. With gratitude, I remember the care and labor of 1,000 generations of elders and ancestors who walked before me. I offer my gratitude for the safety and the well-being that I have been given. At this point, I invite you just to take a deep breath and just let it flow out. I offer my gratitude for the blessing of this earth and all that it has given. I offer my gratitude for the measure of health that I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the family and friends I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the community that I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the teachings and the lessons that I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the life that I have been given. And just as we're grateful for our blessings, so we can be grateful for the blessings of others. I invite you now to continue to breathe easily and gently. Any tension that you may be holding in your shoulders, just sort of relax it out. And bring to mind someone that you care about. Just one person. You're probably already aware of them. I'd like you to picture them in your mind and in your heart, and in so doing, feel this natural joy for their well-being and for their happiness and success. And then with each breath, you can offer them heartfelt wishes. This is going to be a lot like Ruthie's metta at the end. But to your friend, to this person that you have in your heart and in your mind, may you be joyful. May your happiness increase. May you not be separated from great happiness. May your good fortune and the causes for your joy and happiness increase. As you consider this person, hold them in loving kindness. And when I say hold, imagine that you have those soap balloons that we made as kids, all multi-different colors, and they sort of shift in the wind. And you knew that if you grabbed it too hard, it would pop. Or if you tried to manipulate it or move it, it would pop. And so as you consider this person, hold them gently in a loving embrace, not manipulating or moving them in any way, just appreciating them and loving them for the full expression that they are. The other thing with metta is that we can move from those that we love to those that may be challenging us in some way. And our love doesn't change for them in any way. It remains the same. We may have a story, we may have a memory of some kind that will cloud or distort that love. But I'm encouraging you now in this moment, as you follow your breath, as you in gentle repose, just allow that love to flow to them, untethered, unencumbered. And the place that all of this is flowing from, the loving kindness to that person that you shared with, and now the loving kindness to someone who is challenging you. It comes from a wellspring or a particular place within inside a center. I'm encouraging you now just to breathe into that one place. Into that center. It goes by many different names. One of my favorites is the Shekinah, just a sacred space in which everything can flow and emerge. And now allowing the intentions that you've given to others now flow and cover yourself. Wash, clear your energy, and release. 3 deep breaths in your own time.
Let's make sure that the timer, yep, it's going. We're good. Thank you, Mark, for that meditation. We did a special meditation. I don't know if you know our theme today, but gratitude. I want to tell you how I got to this topic because we've been at the end of a series about the about the Four Noble Truths and then the Eightfold Path. John Kabat-Zinn has quite a bit of study of the Eightfold Path, and at the end of his discourse about it, he said that there were was it nine seven plus two attitudes that would lead you into this kind of enlightenment. And, yes, and the last two included gratitude. And I have to tell you, I love preparing for these topics, but I especially enjoyed this one because the diversity of resources about gratitude are as wide as anything I've seen. In this, you can come from a Buddhist source, you can come from a Christian source, you could come from a Jewish source, you could come from psychology, you can come from a historical perspective on this, and so I just think it's an amazing topic on these three words. It is enough. So we're going to start with that idea today, that gratitude has at its source that everything that you need is already here. Kind of gives me chills to even say that. This is very anti-capitalistic. It's and it is very much holistic. And so the approach is that both inwardly and outwardly we cultivate. In other words, we work at this. We cultivate an attitude of gratitude. I want to start with Thanksgiving, the holiday.
They just had theirs.
We have some Canadians in the room. Is it October?
It's second week in October.
Second week in October is the Canadian Thanksgiving, and I think we're actually outnumbered with our 7 people. I think we have 4 Canadians and and 3 Americans. Of course, the Americans are on the microphone. I was going to say as it should be, but I'm not sure that's the right answer. The original story of the first holiday of gratitude is the 1621 story of Plymouth Colony. On that fall, sometime after the harvest season, there were gathered 52 immigrants to the Americas. And then was also the Native American tribe that was there, and they together gathered to offer thanksgiving for the harvest. The backstory of that is that only 53 out of 102 people on the Mayflower survived the first winter. And so about 50% of the people had died either on the voyage there or surviving the winter with because of starvation and also disease in the new country. And so the celebration happened, and it happened with that diverse crowd, which shared the exact same gratitude despite their differences in background. The Native Americans shared in the same harvest and the same gratitude, despite a very different cultural and spiritual background with those in Plymouth Colony. And they shared together in that, which is indeed a indicator of true Thanksgiving, in that true Thanksgiving is diverse. Sees no differences. It is enough. What you have is enough. What I have is enough. And because of that, George Washington wanted to make it a national holiday. However, it as happens in the United States, it wasn't until 1863, some 80 years later, that it was actually, with Abraham Lincoln, declared a holiday. Interestingly, Abraham Lincoln, 1863, right in the middle of the Civil War in the United States, the bloodiest part of the Civil War, and he declared this holiday for the entire country to be thankful. It is in that backdrop that it is not because of the circumstances that we practice gratitude. It is because when we notice and recognize that it is enough, it will naturally flow that we are grateful for what we have. We will be grateful for both the good and the difficult. The people who are wonderful to us and the people who are not wonderful to us. So there's a piece of this whole talk that is about being unconditional. So gratitude cultivated is a habit of the mind. This is where Buddhism really zeroes and focuses in on, that it's our inward being that we can transform by changing our mind, which we've had as a theme now for a couple months here. The other piece that's very interesting is it is not enough to just inwardly change our mind about being grateful. That the second step of all this is that we will act in ways that show our gratitude. Both of those are very Buddhist principles as I've been studying these 6 years. It is that you do the inward work of transforming yourself and becoming more and more enlightened. And that's
Just naturally.
it naturally will flow out, and then you need to do the actions. And they each feed each other. Outwardly and inwardly feed each other. The more you act grateful, the more you will be grateful.
The spiritual loop.
It's a spiritual loop. We talk often about some of our traps as a hamster wheel. This is a positive loop. This is inward and outward loop. And so I love this topic. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a great topic, and it's so positive, and so I want to start with two quotes from even grateful for the dogs.
Oh, both sides today, everybody. Elvis is being good.
Absolutely, we have dog friends who are here today. I want to start with two Buddha quotes that Buddha talked about this about gratitude. One who possesses four qualities is deposited in heaven as if they are brought there. What are these four qualities? Bodily good conduct, verbal good conduct, mental good conduct, and gratitude.
Say that again, please, for me.
So these four qualities helps you to live in heaven as if you are already there.
Very good. Read them again.
Bodily good conduct,
Bodily good conduct,
verbal good conduct, mental good conduct, gratitude. The other Buddhist quote, when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Have you had that experience?
I love that.
Right. Let me say it once more because it's so profound. When you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky.
It's called the cosmic giggle.
The cosmic giggle.
And if you
Go ahead.
whenever you see a group of monks at a monastery or in any kind of gathering, you are struck by how happy they are. They laugh a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a grim or dour sort of practice. This is one that really actually does lead to joy and happiness.
Correct.
And it's through the gratitude. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
You're doing
good.
so great.
You're good.
Enjoying it, but yeah, but it's
So if you
why
want
do they
to,
have such a good time.
if you want to laugh more, you need to notice more.
Yeah.
And if you notice more, you will laugh more. There's the circles.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I want to go through a series of quotes from a variety of sources. The next one is a lady who helped originate the treatment center that I worked at in Minnesota. And she wrote the book, a famous book, Codependent No More, Melody Beattie. If you haven't heard the name, here's what she says about gratitude. Amazing. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. It is absolutely
That's
beautiful.
And very true. To me, this really resonates right at the core.
It does. That's why it's emotional for me to say it.
Yeah, we hear it.
A practical quote on gratitude. Gratitude, like faith, is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. And so this is a cultivated practice over and over that we move from some of our natures, some of our backgrounds that are ungrateful or non-noticing into using the muscle more and more, and all of a sudden it will be natural. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement. You would include the things in your gratitude that are a state of gratitude for everything that shows up in your life. Be thankful for the storms as well as the smooth sailing. That actually has a very Christian background as well. That we are developed, I don't know if your experience has been this, but often as struggling and suffering as circumstances can be, in those comes some of the periods of the greatest kind of growth if we are willing. We can also get stuck in our habit of rehearsing the suffering and therefore continuing the suffering. Or we can turn that on itself and all of a sudden we are grateful for all those circumstances. I've had some of the best bosses in the world and I've had some of the worst bosses in the world. Every one of them has been part of my development. Each one of them has been a piece of who I am today as a worker. So I want to do a little bit about psychology connected with this. This is the gratitude patience link that is often in psychological circles put together. People who have a strong sense of gratitude are more likely to delay gratification. Passing over small rewards for a greater long-term reward. Marshmallows. Yes, yes. Also, the tortoise and the hare story. That's why we teach children that story is that stick with it slowly, consistently, and you will arrive where it is that is your destination. And so people who have a strong sense of gratitude, the psychological studies say that they delay gratification and their results are long-term, stronger, and lasting. So I worked in treatment circles. Gratitude is one of the qualities that people in recovery say is crucial to staying in recovery. It's the antidote to addictive behavior. Looking for the long-term result rather than giving in to the immediate impulse. Gratitude in living in the moment is very much a Buddhist idea that all we have is what we have right now. Gratitude in communication gives us the chance to be responsive rather than reactive. The better result. Gratitude is an antidote to greed. The Buddhists often connect greed with the hungry ghost idea. That there is a piece in us if we feed it that will never be satisfied. And if we indeed start to be grateful that it is enough what we have now, what we have is enough. It is the antidote. The hungry ghost minimizes, and disappears.
It's the opposite of this is enough. This is never enough.
This is never enough is the hungry ghost idea talked about by Buddhists. We should spend a whole time on that one. Yeah. I think that would be a great topic for the future. Yep. Jack Cornfield, I'm quoting people today because as you're seeing the resources about this topic is amazing. Jack, he's talking about the gratitude in difficulties. And in his living in Thailand, this was often in the Thai temples. May I be given the appropriate difficulties so that my heart can truly be open with compassion. May I be given the appropriate difficulties so that my heart can truly be open with compassion. I know every one of my struggles has led me to be compassionate for people in struggles. My struggle with figuring out that I'm gay has helped me understand what it is to be underprivileged, to not be at the top of the heap, to open my heart to those who don't have the same resources that I had as a white, male, educated American. Being divorced helped me to be compassionate towards people in the process of divorce, still leading seminars for divorcing parents. All of these things are a part of the development, and to be grateful for the appropriate difficulties that are necessary to open our heart. It makes you almost want to embrace difficulties because there's something so valuable in them. I want to talk just kind of off the cuff here about the noticing idea. In meditation, we're asked to notice what is happening in the moment. In cultivating a lifestyle of reflection and openness, to notice is the prescription, is the medication that alleviates anxiety, worry, and ultimately suffering.
Repeat that, please.
The noticing of everything, reflection of everything, is the prescription for reducing anxiety, worry, and suffering. Often, anxiety, worry, and suffering have to do with expectations and histories. And when we notice in the current moment, let's just take, for example, we are in Costa Rica. When you notice how green it is, you can't help but be grateful for the amazing jungle that's a part of Costa Rica. Now, if you came from Los Angeles, Cement City, and you come here, it will be even more vivid. But you don't necessarily need to come from lack to see plenty. You can just cultivate the attitude of noticing, and what happens is that on the back burner goes anxiety, worry, and suffering when you notice. Jesus talked about this. You knew I'd get there.
Yeah, this is an interfaith group.
It is.
Dharma is totally interfaith.
It is.
You and I both, and probably everyone here, was raised with this, so it's always viable.
Yes. So the most famous sermon of all time is probably Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. Matthew 5, 6, and 7 is where it was recorded. I just want to read 4 of the verses here, and I want you to think of it as it relates to gratitude. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. This is about noticing. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet they are fed. Are you not of similar value to them? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? As a matter of fact, we subtract hours from our life with anxiety and worry. And why do you worry about your clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell to you, not even Solomon, who was the ultimate rich person in Jesus' history, that not even Solomon in all of his splendor was dressed like one of these flowers. When you notice that, you will be grateful. It will be enough. One of the last things, and this happened to me when I moved to Costa Rica, someone sent me on my trip, this is back in 2015 when I moved here full time. They sent me a little poster and it said, it had two birds coming out of a nest. Obviously young birds, obviously pushed out of the nest. And they are falling in the air. And here's what it says. If you leap, the net will come. Loved it. It was perfect because it felt like a big leap almost without a net to make that decision. And that beauty of the bravery and courage that you find when you're grateful and when you are centered on what it is your calling is. At that point, you will be grateful for where you've been, but also for where you are currently. I'm going to end with two quotes. One is from the author of Piglet. Milne. Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. And the last one, Helen Keller. So much has been given me that I have no time to ponder over that which has been denied.
Very good.
So much has been given to me that I have no time to ponder over that which has been denied. That's about noticing. That's about gratitude. Comments. It's a rich topic, isn't it? I got through all my quotes. I'm surprised.
Really
Yeah,
enjoyable.
I'm grateful.
I'm grateful for
Thank you.
this talk. It was excellent.
Awesome. I don't need to talk anymore. Thank you. Anyone else want to add to that?
I don't think there could be a more perfect talk. You know, as we're coming back to Costa Rica. Really, I mean.
We're so glad you're here.
Oh, we're so glad to be back. And that's what everything you said today is about, you know, just looking around and seeing the beauty. And just, you know, we came back, honestly, we had some issues with our reno. Not everything was perfect, but we're just trying to be zen about it and just say, look what we've got.
Yep.
Not look at the next, look what we've got. And we got so much. So.
Right. It's really interesting to think about people who have so little comparatively and are incredibly grateful.
Mm-hmm.
One of the beauties that I've learned in Costa Rica is the Ticos are quite grateful people. They notice everything. And comparatively, they live a lot simpler than the gringos here. They probably will live longer than us. That doesn't have to do with socialized medicine. That indeed has to do with how they view life, the simplicity of their gratitude. They know every plant, every animal, every They know all the I've been working with Ticos in construction. They know all the details of construction. Of course, it's in their own way, which is lovely. But you want to know
And
something.
they won't admit it if they don't.
Right. That's the beauty of it. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Absolutely.
That's right. It's a virtuous plenty.
It is a virtuous plenty.
You know,
But
do anything.
you are rich. Less is more.
Well, you know the card I carry. It says simplicity is an advanced course.
Say that again.
I carry a card I've had for heaven knows how many years that says simplicity is an advanced course. And gratitude has a way of cutting right through the heart of something and getting rid of all the extraneous. Yeah, it's a true feeling that comes from the heart. My father told me many, many years ago that of all the virtues, the one least exercised was gratitude. So don't expect it from other people, but cultivate it in yourself. And I think he was right about that. So anyway, I didn't mean to.
Let's do the meditation.
Oh, we're going to do a meditation. All right. We're so thankful that John and Sandy are here and everybody's here and the storm is passing.
Thankful for our little core.
Our
people
core
we've seen
groups.
during the pandemic. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Now, do we have time for a full meta or do you want to do a
full time.
quickie?
We're good.
All right, everybody. Set aside anything that is obstructing your comfort. Get centered. Take a few deep breaths. Upright but relaxed. And we're going to engage in the gratitude for all the interconnection, the interdependence of all the people in our Sangha, which is our group of spiritual friends, without whom we would be really quite lost. We need them. And we're going to choose our 5 people. And instead of doing it in advance this time, we all know how to do it. We'll do it, and I'll say who it is with each one. The words welcome are well and come. Bienvenido, the same thing. Namaste, as my soul speaks to your soul. When we say goodbye, we say fare with an understood ye well. So along with gratitude for everything else, we have our gratitude for the ability to actually love everyone. We start with ourselves. Repeat after me. May I be well. May no harm come to me. May I live with ease. That's balance. Calm and peaceful. May I be happy. And may I be grateful. And then we think of someone that we love with all our heart. And we look at them and we smile and we say their name and we say, may you be well. May no harm come to you. May you live with ease, calm and peaceful. May you be happy. May you know that I am grateful for you. And then you bring to mind your neutral person, someone with whom you are acquainted. They might serve you somewhere, but you don't know their name, or they might be a neighbor you just wave at and you don't know their name. If you don't know their name, or just call them friend. But if you do know their name, say it to yourself. And say to them, may you be well. May no harm come to you. May you live with ease, calm and peaceful. May you be happy. May you sense that I am grateful for you. And then we let that sink in and we feel pretty good, and then we turn with a deep breath to someone with whom we are in conflict. It is such a relief to be able to be grateful for them. And we say, may you be well. May no harm come to you. May you live with ease, calm and peaceful. May you be happy. May you feel that I am grateful for you. And then, with a bit of a smile and a sense of relief, we turn to the entire universe of which we are one speck. 8 billion people out there. And how many more in the universe, we don't know. We put our hands over our hearts, because that's the only place big enough to hold all of them. And we change the words a little bit. We say, may all beings everywhere, on this plane and all other planes, be well. May all beings everywhere be safe. May all beings everywhere be free from suffering. May all beings everywhere be happy. And may all beings everywhere bear gratitude in their hearts. And you let that feeling sink in for a minute or two. You want to carry it with you through the rest of the day and all other days, as much as possible. When you're ready, you drop your hands into your lap, or you can put them in this position, and we'll give our Thanksgiving little benediction. Go in peace, go making peace, living gently, loving mightily, and bowing to the mysteries. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for a great talk. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Oh, we make
Ruthie,
something.
It started
Everybody
out to
brings
be a potluck.